praise him. Come on. Yes, come on. Oh, glory. Yes. Oh, call me on Sunday. Touch somebody, say, come on, give God praise right now. Now, say yes. Oh, Shandioko, Kandio, come, Shandio, Shanda, oh, glory. Oh, come on, lift your hands and give God praise. Open your mouth and tell him yes, Lord. Come on. Jesus. Father, we thank you right now for the glory. We praise you right now for angels being dispatched. We thank you right now that the angels have packages for us. We praise you right now, God, for the blessings and the favor, God. And we praise you right now for every household represented, God. Bless every man and woman of God. Turn situations around. Bind the devil right now. And we give you the praise right now. And we praise you for doing it in Jesus' name. Glory.
And we praise him for doing it right now in Jesus' name. What's up, everybody? And welcome into the sanctuary tonight. Hanging out with St. James. Thank you for dropping by. Would you be so kind and to hit that like button for me as you are coming in? Appreciate each and every one of you for hanging out with me on a Thursday evening. Inspire, beautiful Inspire. She's making sure that we know the carnal church sector, a mirror and critique for change. What's up? Let's roar. Good to see you in the building tonight. Thank you for your support. As always, thank you, Miss Jacqueline, one of our supreme executive doorkeepers around here. Princess is in the house. Thank you, Princess, for dropping in tonight, giving us some of your time. Thank you for your support. My Millionaire Club. Good to see you again. Sabrina, thank you for your support. Thank you for joining us. And Rejoice. Good to see you as always. Thank you for your support. Jesse is in the building. You said, all rise for the presiding prelate of the Carnal Sector Assemblies Church of God in Missionary Mercy International. Yeah, we got a lot going on over here. There's a whole lot going on. Yes, definitely. Yes. You said you took a nap. Good. You good. That's what you should do. Take a nap. I'm gonna come on here sometime tonight. What's up, Quiet Storm? Good to see you. Oh man. Let me just run it one more time just to make sure that you understand what your obligations are around here in the sanctuary. As always, we thank you for watching, but make sure you hit that like button and you do share, and also subscribe to the church, the Carnal Church Sector and the St. James Show. You can join our membership by hitting the link in the description. Feel free to comment respectfully, and there's your option to support financially the St. James Show. What do we have going on here? What's up, Jay Boogie? Good to see you as always. Thank you for your support. All right. Man, not much is going on. I just wanted to come in and hang out, maybe drop the link. We could talk about some stuff. I'll drop the link. You don't have to cam up. We could just chit chat about some stuff. We don't want to beat the political stuff to a dead horse, though. I'm about tired of that. We all know what we should be doing. All right, but we will hit a few things. And didn't he make a fool of himself over there at that on that panel the other day? Oh, Jesus, that was a mess. But before we get into all that good stuff, of course, they are getting ready for the homegoing service of Merita Mother Willie Mae Smalls River. They're going to be, looks like Myron Williams is going to be able to make this one. Well, that's a good thing, Myron. We're glad you'll be able to make the long-standing supervisor of women's homegoing service. We know his schedule is quite busy. and he doesn't quite make all of the homegoing services, but it's good. It looks like he's going to make this one. So make sure that you guys, if you're in the area, they're going to be in North Carolina, High Point, North Carolina. Ain't that Cruiser? Cruiser, ain't that where you at? I think Cruiser's over there, around there in Columbia. Looks like they're going to be in Columbia, South Carolina area, and in North Carolina area. So, okay, all right. Columbia South and High Point North. Get down, and then they should having 2 services, 3, 4, 5. They're gonna trot her around the country. Nah, maybe not. I don't know. Don't travel mother too far around. Let her rest. You know, they be doing a whole lot. Thank you so much, Princess, for your support. Appreciate the $4.99. She put a color on it. And remember, as we're in here tonight, do what Princess has done and put a color on it. That's what she did. That is a great support to the platform. Who chose Myron picture? Don't he look a little zesty there? Ooh. He looking like, what's up, girl? What's up? Oh, your black job paid you so you could. Thank God for black jobs. He had the nerve to say that again in front of beautiful African American women. Just a total disgrace. We needed him to be on that platform, didn't we? Though we needed him to be right there and say and do just what he did. Oh, but I'm going off on a tangent. See, Princess, you got me off on a tangent. All right, Mother Rivers, they're gonna put you away quite lovely. I'm sure the presiding bishop will be there as well. So that will be a high time celebrating the life of Mother Rivers. It's giving jacked private pick. What's jacked, J Boogie? Could you fill us in on what jacked is? I'm not sure if everybody knows what jacked is. All right, over there in Los Angeles, of course, they are having the 2nd annual Choir Master Awards. I saw this over there on Keisha Ely's page. I think she has I think this is actually her creation, I believe. Don't quote me, but it might be her creation. But they are having it, and they're going to have a special guest, Minister Deontay Duckett and Pastor Josh Bracey. Now, we all know who Josh Bracey is. Josh Bracey is the one who they sing How I Made It. You know, they sing that one. But that one we always play. Jives plays it. Everybody plays it. So they're going to be actually in Los Angeles too. So August 25th, 5 p.m. Get your tickets at Eventbrite and make it happen. I think that's going to. I heard it was a really good event last year, so it should be even better this year. If I'm not doing anything, I want to slip down there and go. They ain't giving me no award. How dare they? What are they? No, but I'm not an LA choir director though. That's not me, so I won't be. I won't charge it to them this time. But if you are in the LA area, make sure you are there. They are going to wear that. Josh Bracey is going to wear that song out with Homegirl. I forget her name. He better bring her. We want to see her, Josh. That's who we want to see. What's up, lady one, Nikki? Good to see you. K Rich is in the building. You love Keisha Ely, Mr. Right Now. Yeah. Oh, really? You watch that all the time? Yeah. Jay Boogie says Jacked is an app for the girls to meet without judgment. Oh, no judgment. Okay, all right. Meet up. We all know who that is. Grind, all that stuff. We all know what it is. Check this out. Be More, Baltimore. Man, it is going down. If you're in the Baltimore area, Jordan E. Cooper's Oh Happy Day, a new play with music by none other than Maestro himself, original music by Donald Lawrence. You do not want to miss this. And if you're in the Baltimore area, you want to make sure that you are in the house September 19th through October 13th. So make sure you are there at centerstage.org. Well, you can grab tickets at centerstage.org. And we all know, I don't know if you don't know who Jordan Cooper is. He is the creator and producer of the Miss Pat Show. You know, the comedian Miss Pat, the Miss Pat Show that comes on BET Plus. Jordan E. Cooper is the creator of that show, and he has written and directed this, and starring, actually he's starring in it. So if you're in the Baltimore area, make sure that you make your way over there to the center stage over there, the public theater, to make sure you are in the house, man. Oh, it's directed by Stevie Walker Webb, so it's written by Jordan Cooper, so, and he's starring in it, man. But you know that music is going to be off the hook. Donald is really in his era. He really is, J Boogie, and he's right now, looks like he's on a from what it looks like he's on a movie set in Los Angeles. And I don't know if it's Frasier, because Frasier came up. Wait a minute, is Frasier still alive? I don't know. Is he still alive? I think he is. Frasier didn't die, did he? Or did he die? I don't know if Frasier did. But you know that ain't his real name, but whatever his name is. He released the 9th Street Baptist Project. He has a 9th Street Baptist Project? Oh, okay. Get down. Yeah. So if you're in the B-More area, make sure you get over there. And that's pure. That's going to be pure entertainment. Pure entertainment. Yes, it will be. Man, what else is going on? So what are you guys doing tonight? Y'all just hanging out and being bored and cruising these YouTube streets? Where's Catherine Powell? We need to have our beef sector synopsis. She ain't in the house. Oh, with Rodney Posey? Okay. I ain't heard nothing from Rodney Posey in a while. That's interesting. That would be good. Yeah. But speaking of music and arts, we are on our way, of course, to where are we going? Stockholm, Sweden. And this is the venue in Stockholm, Sweden, that the mass choir will be rehearsing and performing in. I just booked my room the other day, and yesterday I got my registration. So I think registration is, I think, $175 for the entire 3 days. And then, but you can also pick if you want to go to different events for lower, like $35. There's the concert, or just particular days that you want to participate, or just what I would suggest, just pay the registration fee in full, and you have full access to everything. I think the only thing you don't have access with the registration fee is with the gospel brunch that's going to happen. So you do not want to miss. I want you guys to meet me in Stockholm, Sweden. The St. James Show will have a meet and greet in Sweden. So I'm already kind of putting that in motion. So those of you who will be, or who are in, our supporters who are out of the country, and I would definitely love to meet you. And we will have a meet and greet in Stockholm, Sweden, probably more than likely at the hotel that I'll be staying at. So I'm kind of getting that together. So make sure if you want to join us in Stockholm, musicandartsglobal.com. All right, musicandartsglobal.com. It'll get you all your information there. And it's a good time, y'all. It is good time. It's, if you are a choir head, if you are a gospel music head, you want to be with the music and arts. It's been going on for years upon years with Edwin Hawkins and Walter Hawkins. So Donald Lawrence has continued the work and expanded the work even more. So meet me in Stockholm, Sweden. Let's have a good old time. Yes. You don't have to sing. You can come and enjoy. There are people who come, they chill, they're in the rehearsals, they're not necessarily singing, but then see, and then we have a night where all the choirs from around the world come and perform. So you do not want to miss that. All the choirs come and perform one of the nights, and that is like one great event. It's amazing to see how the world appreciates gospel music. Sometimes it seems more than we appreciate gospel music. So, yeah, it is really something to see. So, yeah, you love it. You want to be there. You said yours came quicker than expected. What are you talking about, Jacqueline? Oh, your passport. Yes. Make sure you have a passport. Okay. And they do come quick. So they don't think that they're old school and and you can just, you have to wait 90 days on. No. It's really short. I even had mine stolen one time and I redid it and it came like in a few weeks. So it's not take long at all. You said Sweden is a dope country. Yeah, honestly. Yeah, I can't wait. I haven't been to Sweden. The last time we went, we were in London. So that was nice. I think I have the flight that I'm going to be on. I think it has a layover in London for a minute. Ooh, Sweden. I got to look at that. I think because I know the flight, wasn't the flight to London 14 hours? And then I think it's another couple of hours to Sweden. So yeah, maybe about 12 hours or so, something like that. Let me tell you, I remember I went back there. I was like, I remember I got up to use the restroom. I asked the flight attendant guy, I was like, dude, are we almost there? I was like, oh my God, just get me to London. I am ready to get the hell off of this plane. He was like, I think we got a couple more hours left. I was like, Lord, keep me day by day. Oh, it was a mess. Yeah. Well, yeah, he does working overseas because overseas, not only do they appreciate what he does and what gospel artists do, they actually put their finances to it. So you can talk to any gospel artist that has been out, out of the country, overseas. They will tell you they're much more appreciated overseas than they are here. Yeah, we love them, but a lot of times we just have lip service, and we don't, actually put our finances behind it. What's up, Catherine Powell? Catherine Powell, they over there cutting up at that beef sector. Ooh, last night was interesting, wasn't it? Jakim and Ness and what else is going on? Lion Brooke talking about she got a baby, ain't never had no baby. My God, how you lie and tell the internet that you got a newborn baby, get cash apps to help you with your baby, and you ain't even got no damn baby. Woo! I tell you, some folks, they got all the luck, all the nerve. It is a holy mess. Man. People need to start, be lying and scheming for no money. Do some work for the money. Do some doggone work for the money. Listen to homegirl. She talk about, making her money. Ask her no question. She make her money.
I'm a hustler. You don't need to ask the hustler where she is getting her money. I'm a big hustler. I work hard for my money.
Okay.
I work very hard for my money. So you don't have the right to ask me where I get my money. The only person that can ask me now and I'll answer is sister. Because sister is a hustler. She works for her money too. So we need to create ideas together. We need to exchange mindset, business mindset together. Not you. Because if I tell you now I'm wasting my time, you just want to monitor my money. How my money come and go. So okay. Don't stop me again.
Don't stop me again. Don't ask me about my money. Don't ask me how I'm making. I'm a hustler. Hustler, baby. Listen, I thought that was pretty cute. Bless her heart. Jacqueline, you got to be a hustler. Got to learn. Be a hustler. Okay? Oh, I'm not really talking about nothing, y'all. I'm going to drop the link. I got a few more things I'm going to say. Where's Kim at? Did Kim go to sleep? She asked if I was coming on. Kim, get up from your stool of do nothing. Stockholm, Sweden. That's where we'll be. In Stockholm, Sweden. You come and rejoice? Come on to Stockholm. It'll be all good. Right, K. Rich, period. I'm a hustler, period. That's it, that's all. Ask me no questions, I tell you no lies. The link is pinned at the where is it pinned? Oh, in the chat. So what do you guys think about this crap that the Orange Man was talking? Yeah, thinking about it. Yeah, you better think. Yeah, I think it'll be I'm gonna go like, it's only May 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. It's only 3 days, but I'm going to be in Sweden like that entire week. I'll get there probably Monday. I'm gonna leave on Sunday. I think it's like an overnight thing, because the time difference. So I won't get there till Monday, and then I'm gonna leave out probably Sunday or that following Monday. I'm still not. I probably got to leave out Sunday so I can get home on Monday because I'm sure I gotta work. So I wish I could stay longer, but I don't know. It just depends. I may just take a couple of weeks off and just travel around those countries up there. So we'll see, because I know a friend of mine has a house in Spain. She said I can utilize. So I might actually make that trip there to Spain as well in the same week or the following week. So I don't know. But we will have some good time if y'all meet me there. I tell you, we will. And all the great artists will be there. Last year was we had a bunch of artists that were there. BB Wine, a bunch of people dropped in, and it's just a wonder to be around all those beautiful singers from around the world. So you do not want to miss. You said travel is cheap once you get there, man. Yeah, I was talking with the people in regards to like the transportation in there, because I don't, that driving on the other side of the road, and it seemed a little interesting and confusing. We didn't rent no car in London. I'm like, listen, they drive like maniacs anyway, so I'm not going to put my behind on the road. So I was asking about, the transportation. I think the Lou or whatever they call it. I don't know what they call it, the subway, but that was really cheap as well. And I think like train, I think you could take the train like to some other countries and stuff, so I'm gonna utilize all that. Yeah, so it was pretty cheap. It's like $4 to get on that subway or something like that. You can fly from country to country for like 75. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do it. Yeah, trains are cheaper. Yeah. JFK said, so it's 8 hours from JFK, and I'm in California, so that probably adds another 4. Because where am I going? I think I'm my city to, I can't remember what it said. I have to look at the thing. I haven't actually bought that ticket yet. Still trying to make sure that I want, trying to map this thing out. Like I said, I want to do some other traveling. So I don't want to buy it too soon, but I was looking at the routes. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes, everybody. We'll see how it goes. So I guess we can, if people come up a little bit later, we can talk about the, stuff about that panel that Orange Man was on, but whatever. I had a question though. I ran across this stuff and I'm like, are you guys convinced that this is real, or is there some performative and attention-seeking type of actions going on here? Let me know what you think. Let's see that one again. Is she hired in? What's going on? I just something in my spirit that says this stuff is kind of fake. And check this one out.
Be quiet. Be quiet. Allow her to speak now in Jesus' name. Look at me. Be quiet and allow her to speak now. Allow her to speak now.
I've cut the hair. I want to renounce witchcraft, and I cut the hair. I want you to I removed the hair. I removed it in Jesus' name. Thank you, Jesus. I renounce everything that my great-grandparents. I renounce it. I renounce it. I change.
Are you sold, Jesse? What's the problem?
Who was that? Who was that? Who was that? And it better not be Lovey.
No, it's not. I don't know who the so-called prophet is. I don't know. I don't know.
You know, everybody, what happens to the my mama been in my house for the last couple of days, and she been having on Bishop Bonner and stuff, and I back
Oh, so she wanted
stuff.
some real good
Yeah, some good Solomon Temple, and you know, I'm just sitting there listening, and then you think about what you hear today. You know, it's just like, you know, that man had power, ain't no prophecy, ain't nobody getting called down. You about to get a call.
No.
What's up with all of this?
Right.
Oh God.
You know, people like Bonner just flat foot preached the word, you know, authority. It didn't do all that performative stuff that we have going on now. You know, it's a mess.
And ain't nobody saved. That's why everybody going from door to door, hotel room to hotel room, crack house to crack house.
Oh, Jesus be a fence. My. So I don't know. Let me see, what are people saying? You said, oh, that's interesting, Sabrina. She said these demons are getting too comfortable in the church. I mean, just coming through and just performing. And Jay Boogie, that was my question. You see the people that were actually, not only was it recording for this clip, but other people were actually recording her. I'm like, y'all doing too much. Y'all doing way too much. But
and that looked at a lot like a voodoo ritual to me. I'm just gonna call the thing a thing. That did. Y'all go look up a Haiti. Well, don't go look it up, but just trust me. I've seen it on YouTube. That looks just like a Haiti voodoo ritual. That, you know, I mean, and that's in us already. That's why we praise God the way we do versus Caucasian people. But you know, there's still a level and a degree of holiness that comes when you're supposed to be a Christian. That's why you you shout a certain way. You don't shout it and look all crazy and foolish when you shout. You know,
decently and in order. Yeah,
decently in order. You know. So, and if you had the Holy Ghost, you know not to go on there. You don't post deliverance stuff online.
Right.
Turn them cameras off.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Major Boys? Y'all don't be timing out Major Boys. Y'all timing them out the other night. Don't be
I saw that. I was like, let me get off of here because I ain't even in no.
Just don't put that T word in the chat. You know, that orange man, Major Boys. Be creative with another word. Yeah. But y'all don't time them out. Oh yeah, so I watched a little bit of Sheila Jackson Lee's service. It was a very good service. Did you watch any of it?
No, St. James. So I literally just got done putting in my last assignment for this semester. So
yeah. How are you doing in school? How much more you have?
So I only go like 3/4 time, so I don't go full time or nothing like that. So I'm taking my time to keep that GPA up.
Right. Yeah, don't take on too much too soon.
Right. So I'm either the end of 2025 or 2020 spring 2026 is gonna be the latest. So but I mean I made Dean's List last semester, my first semester back. and I just got an A- and an A in these classes I just took for the summer. So,
good.
Yeah, I'm keeping that GPA high. That's all I'm concerned about.
You know, I got to play my girl. She was singing today. Let's play a little bit of her over there at Sheila Jackson's celebration. Let's see. She's in. Sing that Corinthian song.
Sometimes life
You better sing that.
can change suddenly.
He's so dramatic.
And you find it hard to even breathe.
She found it hard to breathe right there.
So used to being strong, now sometimes barely hanging on. Y'all, we've gotta stand tall, or too many would fall. What would people say if they knew I felt this way? Then God gave me this refrain.
Is your favorite?
But let me tell you something. I believe, now this is Shirley 2 and 4. I believe that this precious daughter still lives in the presence of the Lord. And I would have really been disappointed if Houston had not honored her the way you have.
She talking good today.
Or what?
Now, I've never tried to sing this song, but I'm going to try it now in F.
Oh, here she go. She gonna try.
Precious Lord,
Gonna try it out.
take my hand, lead me on, and let me stand and learn.
All right, Shirley.
I'm tired.
Me too. People are really tripping on the internet about their, his size. But he's had that surgery for a while. People are really like he's sick or something. But no, he's just said
Did he have surgery?
Yeah, he had that surgery. Come on now.
What are you saying?
But people were like tripping on the internet, like, what's going on with Al Sharpton?
Well, the man old.
He right. What they expect?
Yeah, because he's been like that since I was like in high school when Obama first got put in office.
Logan, he is pretty much pure bones, though. Ooh. Accountability conversations. Okay, Dr. Henry Logan. What kind of accountability conversations you having over there on your channel? He's maintaining that Ozempic. Let me tell you. Who else we got on here? That's fine. Kamala. Who he? Is that Crumb? Oh, yeah. Everybody was up in there. I didn't see that much of it. Who's that? Oh, Donnie. Let's see what Donnie talking about. Oh, I didn't press play, huh?
And when I came in, I was supposed to sing for the Gospel Music Museum at 3 p.m.
Drunk.
2 minutes.
She picked me up at a.m.
Right. If you sing, don't talk. And if you talk, don't sing. That's the rules, Donnie. Let's see.
What do you give? When you giving your all and it seems like you can't make it through? Help me out. Well, you just stand when there's nothing left to do. You just.
Is it me or Donnie looks a little like he have his good paint on today?
Al did too. But Al had that Maybelline Ebon Brown number 5 on.
Number 5. What? I think Donnie got number 3.
Yeah, Donnie might have went over to the Mac counter.
Looking smooth. Okay, Donnie. All right. Ain't looking as old as he be looking sometime. I don't want to see her. I don't want to see her. I don't want to see him. Not you either. Not you. Not you. Not you. Let's get to the nitty gritty. Oh, Yolanda. I keep on forgetting to hit play.
Only wants a chance to use you for the battle is not yours.
Oh, they got V. Michael McKay. I mean, V. Michael. What's his last name, y'all? V. Michael Smith. V. Michael. I just posted him the other day when he was with Jordan, Bishop Jordan. He's directing the choir. Okay. Okay, so she's doing the battle, y'all. Looking good. Yolanda looks good. And here she comes. I think they introducing her. Yeah.
Good afternoon, church. Please have a seat. Good afternoon. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. And let me thank Chaplain Black for your words and the time that we have prayed together when I was in the United States Senate. I thank you, Chaplain. And Pastor Michael A. Pender Sr., thank you for the warm welcome this afternoon. And to the members of the Lee family, President Bill Clinton.
Does she talk kind of like give you that Candy Burris kind of talk? She gives you kind of that Candy Burris.
Secretary Hillary Clinton, the members of Congress, and the elected officials, and all of our distinguished guests. It is an honor, a true honor to be with you this afternoon.
Yolanda, when there is no pain that Jesus can heal.
There is no hurt. Every man was a.
Yeah, that key was a little lower there, Ray. Yeah. Let's speak Kamala up a little bit.
Would make sure everyone understood it and understood it well, and used it to the benefit of the people she served. To know her was to marvel at her mastery of the legislative process. We were talking about it backstage. Sheila Jackson Lee was one of the smartest and most strategic legislators in Washington, D.C. And I will say, and we all who have worked with her and had the blessing of work with her know, she was also one of the most unrelenting.
Now, you know what the people say.
What they say?
The people said that's the first time they heard her speak or outside the confines of the plantation since 2019. Or since 2020. That's what the people say. Ever since we did it, Joe, we heard that woman say nothing else.
Yeah, I can say that, excuse me, that we heard a lot from Evangelist Harris. I really can't. And I mean, that don't mean she wasn't doing nothing in the background, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but she's like out of the like at least the ones that I can remember in my lifetime. So Cheney, Pence, even Biden, you know, Al Gore. I was young then, but you know, they were all more vocal than her. Maybe because it was COVID era, but it seemed like she was just like in disappearance, and that's what a lot of people got a problem with. Like, what happened to her?
You leave Representative Jeffries alone, J Boogie. He lusted.
Every
man. Yeah.
J Boogie on Jackson, grinding, growling, Black Planet.
Lord, that phone gonna blow up. It's gonna blow up. Goonie said everybody code switches. Yeah, it depends on where you at. Y'all talk to your mom and dad the same way. Nope, we do not. Y'all don't talk to my mom and dad the same way I do my friends. So yes, we all got code switching. Yeah, you're operating in flesh, J Boogie. You need deliverance. Yeah, he said Donnie looked and they said he sung until he was hoarse. No, he definitely was singing hoarse there. He said, I guess he sung the night before, day before the funeral at Fallbrook Church. Oh, okay. Right up his alley then. Well, what else is going on? Let's see what this fool was talking about. Let me see here. Let me try to speed this up. Did you see any of the NABJ forum?
No, I didn't. That's the thing with Donald. I mean, with No, I didn't.
Okay. Yeah, let's see.
Housing because of the cost to build it, because of inflation. Inflation is a disaster, and it's destroying our country.
Can you pause this real quick?
Our community probably as much.
Yeah. You know, I know you say you didn't want to get into the politics, but I was thinking about something one night this week. And you know, let's break down this inflation thing. You want to talk about this now, or you want to wait?
Oh, we'll wait a minute.
Okay, come on.
Let's see what else he talk about. The feds are supposed to cut rates. We'll see what they do in September. I doubt it, but let's see here.
Woman was shot the other day in her home by a deputy sheriff. The deputy has since been charged with murder. You said police would get immunity from prosecution if you win. Why should someone like that officer have immunity, in your opinion?
Immunity?
Immunity.
I don't know the exact case, but I saw something, and it didn't look good to me.
This man said he don't know nothing about. You know what? This was the perfect forum for him. It made him look like even more of a total idiot than he is. It was really good for his campaign. Wonderful for his campaign. It was horrible.
To me, it didn't look good to me. Are you talking with the water, right?
Yeah, well, police unions are not backing this person either. Okay. But again,
they're going to be charging the officer? I guess they're charging the officer.
So why should he receive immunity?
Well, he might not. I mean, it depends. It depends on what happens. I'm talking about people that are much different cases than that. We need people to protect ourselves. And by the way, in Chicago, as an example, a few weeks ago, July 4th weekend, they had 117 shootings and 17 deaths.
Deflect.
Nobody wants that. We need to have our police.
We asked you about immunity for the man who walked up in there and unalived that woman. And every question was like that. Every question. I don't even want to see no more. Every question was like that. He deflected. He did not stay on any subject. He didn't answer anything. He disrespected the host. Just horrible.
And him and his camp you know, they're so out of touch because they don't realize statistically, you
Yeah.
know, Chicago is a very big place.
Mm-hmm,
Now, I don't think they even come up in the top 10 ever of top crime cities. It's pocketed to specific areas with known gang activity, and this is
right.
how it goes. And you know, I mean, I done grew up in the hood. You know, I'm not too far from the hood now where I stay. So it's basically, you know, people that are in that lifestyle that are getting, you know, woo woo woo. You know, those are the people that are coming up
Right.
next. So if you're not looking, he's trying to paint this picture as if it's people just. I mean, you know, sometimes it's crossfire and stuff like that, but that's not what's going on all the time. These are people that's choosing to live that lifestyle. You live by the sword, you die. You know, so you know, he's so out of touch, and I wish he really would quit talking about Black subjects like he knows what he's
And the
talking
Sonia
about.
Massey thing was just the ideal thing, and what they were talking about, you know, in regards to that's just not random or gang violence or you know that was an issue that we've been having for years with African American and marginalized people and the police. So to sit there and be totally oblivious, even if he did know about it and didn't want to say it, how he responded to it proves that he is not eligible to be the president of the United States.
And he doesn't care about Black people
And he
because
does not.
how are you going to sit there and deflect in front of a room full of intelligent Black people?
Yeah.
Like that. Like, who do you think you are? Do you think we? But and this is the message to you, you know, COONS's raccoons out there that, you know, y'all want to be so contradictory, you know, and go up for orange soda, high tea, you know,
Right.
Tang.
Of
You
course,
know,
Fox is not going to do a segment on it. They don't want to bring any attention to that whole immunity thing that he's talking about. No, they're not going to bring any attention to Sonia Massey.
yeah, and so he he just, I mean, he's showing y'all what he cares about: you, your children, your
Yeah.
grandchildren, you know, and the police are supposed to have, you know, this has been this big push for them to have mental health awareness training and, you know, community policing and all of this and that. And it doesn't matter how much you community police, you can still get in your house.
Yeah.
After you're having a crisis. I have a lot of family members that suffer with bipolarism, all kind of, you know, different diseases and about this, that, and the third. I've had my bouts of, you know, different, you know, stuff. So it's like, you know, if I could have easily had a crisis and that could have been me. And this is what the former president and, you know, trying to be reelected person is trying to say about somebody like me. Y'all need to start doing some, you know, self-reflection, because this stuff is getting scary. If you supporting Trump and you Black, I just don't, I don't know.
You know what? I was over there listening to Jives earlier. This dude was on there who's running for school board or something in his city in Florida. He was over there pretty much pandering, and by his words, he was pretty much in defense of Trump. Oh God, I hate.
You said this was on. I had already said it. My bad, but
I know on Jives earlier today, and I'm listening to this guy, and I'm going, and he's talking about he don't know who he's going. He's Black now. He Black, some preacher, some Black preacher, and talking about he don't know right now who he gonna vote for. You know, he got to see what her policies are. Negro, you know what a Project 2025 is. You know what policy, so-called policy, the immunity thing for police officers should decide your vote right there. It really should.
And then if you know, let's just hypothetically say, okay, we don't want we're gonna disregard all the color issues. He still economically, he's the reason for this inflation. Now let's break
Yeah.
this down. Everybody wants to, because I was thinking about this when I saw a post on Facebook, and I'm like, a lot of people don't just take time and think, read, reflect,
Yeah.
do history checks. Everybody, oh, I had money under when Trump was president. You didn't get that until the last year due to COVID because of those stimulus checks. Let's be for real.
Yeah.
Okay. So those stimulus checks, those are the reason why the inflation is so ridiculous right now, because what should have happened, he should have just let the economy do whatever it was going to do.
Yeah.
So it can go into its natural cycle. Instead, he inflated the economy with all kinds of money that had no backing by gold or anything else. You sat there and just pumped out all that money to us to get
Now,
folks.
you do remember that he inflated his properties as well and over appraised them, lied about his properties.
Oh,
make it look like so he's a professional at that. It's over.
But my point is, people, the stimulus, the original stimulus that was for consumers, who it came from. Let me think back to 2009.
Yeah.
Biden was behind that.
Right. Yeah.
Behind behind the recession stimulus. So I'm like, a lot of these, again, Gen Z, these younger set of millennials getting on Facebook just talking left. I'm like, y'all don't remember nothing. I remember that as clear as day.
Listening to people like Jonetta talking about stimulus checks. Shut your mouth. You don't even know what the history of it.
I was so happy when Tia got that big bag.
Get it all the way together.
I was so happy because I'm like, I'm tired of you always going around attacking. It was clear as day. You attack Black women.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Tia got that ass.
Still talking. Now he's fighting with Darius Cooks.
Well,
but Darius, what'd you say?
I said Darius always up there. He ain't no better.
But he was telling him good. He was trying to tell him and explain, that, you've changed. You're just, you're fighting with everyone. You're doing, and now pot calling the kettle. I know Darius can fight too, but he was trying to give him some good point, and he just wanted to argue and fight and be contrary. So it's like whatever. But they were asking, was that guy? No, K Rich, it wasn't that guy. It was that Elvis guy. He's running he's been on Jives before. I was just, and Sir MJS said he's Kojic too. He's probably a wooden Kojic. He was just over there and that whole preaching sound and that loudness, that doesn't make it right. Just because you loud don't make it right. Or you talking like a preacher, that don't mean you right. And I guarantee you he won't win. He won't win because he's all over the place. If he wins, I'll cash app him $50.
He running for the school board.
Yes, he is. In Florida, some city in Florida.
Child, ain't nobody voting for that coon.
No, and that he was cooning out. He was really cooning out today. And I'm like, I guess it's okay, good content for Jives, but it's like, dude, I put in the
and then Jives big, gay self, gay ass. Why you got him on your platform?
Well,
why?
Well, I don't think the guy is too far from okay. We'll just put it that way too.
Every sissy wants a sissy.
I don't think he's too far left. I don't. I think he's in the camp. He's in the camp. He's in the what they because the what is that? What's the show that Tyler Perry has? They be on just screwing everybody. What is it? I can't remember that show, but yeah, he over there. Goonies, thank you for the $5, Goonie. Is Orange Man going to go to a Latina American conference and tell them they are coming to steal your jobs and they all have the worst criminals? And when he's told them women They're stealing, and he used it again, the black, and they were like, could you explain to us what this who's Black Jobs? You idiot. I just thought it's like blatant racism right upside our heads. Blatant racism.
And you got these old up there, house slaves.
And I'm listening to this guy talk tonight, and I'm like, excuse me, this is our problem. That's why I've always said, you got to watch these Black preachers because they're on that orange man ticket. They really are. Now, Bishop Sheard actually came out and said he's behind her. I'm behind her. He never did mention the name, but he said, I'm behind her. So make sure y'all reelect J.Q.
That's Big Bishop right there.
Right. So, at least he has come out and said, now, I know, like they said, Wouldn't gonna be upset when he hear that.
You don't even like it. You nothing makes you happy. You're just evil and nasty and mean, and you don't like nothing. He was like Cat Williams said, you gang banging on bacon, nigga.
Yeah.
You wake up angry. Like nobody cares about what he thinks.
Right. Right. And Mari, and that kind of talk is dangerous talk. And I'm not gonna let nobody get on here. You can have your opinion, but if you're swaying that way, I'm not going to put you on my panel. I'll drop you. I don't want to even put that mess because of the simple fact it's the small things, Jesse, that we have to consider. Not they're not small, but it's like there's a certain things. The whole Black Jobs thing, that's blatant racism. What do you mean Black jobs? Black people make more money than a lot of white folk. What do you mean Black jobs?
Do.
So it's that's blatant race. Always talking about the immigrant. Listen, the Black people are not going out to pick cotton and to pick the oranges off the trees. And very few of us are doing that.
I don't know nobody doing. My mama did that back in the 70s for fun.
Right. But are we doing that now? No.
We barely want to work at McDonald's.
No, exactly. So the disrespect with that, and for him coming on that platform and just cooning out, I'm like, boy, you're not going to be. You have stop the political thing. If you're trying to get in with that Republican mindset, good luck. We're trying to get the hell out of here.
You know what? I'm just generally getting sick of people, trying to sound so deep. Because when you actually are deep, you don't have to go through all these hoops and try to get along with everybody and try to
the
play
link is pinned at the chat. Hold on, Jesse. Kim, the link is pinned on the chat if you want to come up. Go ahead.
Yeah, but when you actually deep, you don't have to go, playing devil's advocate and making these obscene statements just to, get views and stuff. You just do you. So I'm getting, because that's the trend that's going on now. Everybody has something controversial and something what's the word, conspiracy theories on the rise, at an all-time high right now. It's just like everything, she was Jamaican, she ain't Black, and
and even that, you are going to say, now y'all accuse her of being Black on certain situations. They're picking up and putting down depending on the narrative that they're trying to spin. When we look at Evangelist Harris, we see Black. It's just like looking at me. Do you see? I'm light skinned, but
you lighter than her.
Right. But don't throw that out there. When I look at different, shades of people, that some of them aren't all Black, but the identification of us through the lens of others is Black.
Unless you took a flight from Nigeria between 1970 and now, directly over here, you're not all black.
You're not.
And then when people get up here and do these DNA tests, they find out because they always want to say, "Oh, my folk, they was Chippewa Indian and this, that, and the third." And then you do the DNA test and you're Scottish. I done seen it a couple of times.
Everybody is searching her what else they got in them.
Yeah, so we ain't nobody in this country all black unless you just hopped off a Nigerian airway.
Let me talk about this before. What's up, Jay Boogie? What's up, Kim? Good to see you. Thanks for joining tonight. But something, Anita, you said when Kamala becomes president, Bishop Sheard needs to let women be Church of God in Christ pastors. Well, I don't know if that will blatantly happen, but I guarantee you this. There's going to be a shift in leadership in regards to women. I think it's going to be a shift where it's going to be allowed in a lot of different church arenas a little bit more. It's just going to be maybe a gradual thing, but we're going to look up, and we never know. The Church of God in Christ may have a woman bishop around there somewhere. I don't know. But you leave it up to Valerie Carter Daniels.
Period.
Valerie Daniels Carter. I guarantee you she would be one of the ones leading the charge after Harris is in. There is going to be a shift. What do you guys think about that?
I agree. Hey, y'all.
Yeah,
I almost missed it.
Hello.
I agree with that. Just like there was a shift when the other man came through and folks, people of the other persuasion thought that they could call us all kind of names and say what they wanted to.
They back. Yeah.
See, that was a shift.
Yeah.
See, because they wouldn't do that generally. No. So when this presidency changes to a black female at that, then there are going to be some shifts. There are going to be some shifts in how people treat women. They're going to be, it's just generally speaking. I'm not going to say the shift is going to be all for black and brown people. But there definitely will be one, because some of this foolishness that we have right now is going to cease.
Yeah.
Nothing is going to be hidden, because, as we all know, and we see right now very blatantly, racism was never over. It was just not as pertinent and out in the streets and out in the open like it was before and like it is now, so to speak. But yeah, I think there most definitely is going to be a shift. It most definitely will be.
What do you think, Jay Boogie?
Well, I think if you think about it, though, so like Obama, 8 years of Obama is how we got Trump, right? So the pendulum swung to a black man being in charge, and the underbelly of this country was like, "Oh, hell no,
we ain't gonna let that happen no more."
No, sir, no, sir. This is too much. It's too much. We don't like it at all. And so when it swings back to a woman who happens also to be black, when and if it does, we're gonna have to deal with this. And again, when the pendulum swings back to the collective base going like, "Oh no, we can't have that happen again." So we just need to be prepared. And I think we're not. I think the Dems and third party are just not prepared or not, prepared to deal with that pendulum swing.
Yeah.
Like these Republicans are, and no offense to anybody who's here on a Republican, but like these Republicans are relentless.
Oh, we the people don't care about these people. Don't apologize.
Okay. Okay. I just want to make sure that this is a safe space, but it's just like they don't care, and like this stuff has been going on. Roe v. Wade and stuff has been trying to be overturned since the 70s. Like it just happened to happen now when the perfect storm happened. So yeah. But anyway, that's my thought.
But them white people around the office, they've been awfully quiet.
Quiet.
Just like they were saying. Fox is quiet on certain things. They quiet around here right now.
They scared. They scared for sure. Because the energy is the same as Obama. Have you noticed, like, the availability of celebrity, the hope, and the resonation around Kamala, VP Kamala, is the same as around Obama. And they're really frightened.
Yeah.
They're really
And they
frightened.
know what happened. They know what, it was a sweep. It was a pretty good sweep at that election night. There was no question. And what did Bush do? He just got on his plane and he left, didn't he?
But so what's also happening though is that
Eric,
there are electorates. So there
Eric,
are.
I want you to come up and talk about your interview with Dorothy. If you want, it's the link is pinned. You don't have to stay up there. I just want to ask you some questions. Go ahead, Jay.
No, there are electorates, and there are people in charge of county elections and local elections who are election deniers, who are trying not to certify the votes. So for the people here, like, make it resonate, like, with your local folks, like, particularly in swing states, that they are actively trying not to certify local votes, which therefore would not certify state votes, which would draw this thing out. So they're trying everything.
So I think the biggest deal now, we know all the talking points now. We know all the rhetoric that they're trying to spin. We've heard about black jobs. We heard about immunity. We've heard about all that. Now we need to make sure that we are all registered and valid to vote. That's the big thing now. Not all this other stuff, y'all. Make sure that you are getting your primary ballots and your name is written on the roll. That's
not you need to be reaching out to reaching out to your little cousins now.
Yes.
And
hey,
I'm
registered. How old are you? 18. You registered? Come here. Let's do this.
And them little fools up there at the gas station. Yep. And everybody that's 18 to 25, you need to be talking to them. Hey, what you doing?
And if you are registered, check your registration, because they do stuff like they switch locations, and then you got to drive across town and stuff like that. Like, you need to check it.
And you ain't got to ride nowhere. Some people don't have a ride.
Yeah, Rejoice just made a good point. And have your ID. And don't have that ID that's all broke up, that you didn't have in your back pocket, that your mama didn't want.
Right, and your mama's under your mama's mattress, right?
All under your mama mattress. That's you can barely see your picture. The expiration date is rubbed off. All that kind of foolishness right there is what they're gonna be looking for.
Right.
When they turn us around and say, no, excuse me, no, you can't do it. So make sure it's not expired.
Right.
Yep.
Because they're gonna try anywhere they can to kick you out of there.
Right.
Well, hold on, y'all. Before we continue with this talk, we have Eric Maurice Clark on the channel here. Welcome, Eric. It's been a minute.
Welcome.
Thank you so much, St. James. Hey, everybody that's on. How y'all doing?
Were you just over there with the wonderful, beautiful Twinkie Clark?
I was.
How was that?
It was an honor. She's beautiful, and I just love the stories that she shared. I can't wait to share it on Gospel Diaries, because it's definitely a rare interview.
Mods, could you grab his paid channel and post it in the chat so everybody can join the Gospel Diaries with Eric Maurice Clark? And you just dropped the Dorothy Norwood interview.
Yes. That was amazing. I was sitting there looking at all that experience. I was like, wow, how in the world did I get here?
Wow. Eric, I got a question. How you doing?
I'm doing
well, did you come here to Detroit for the interview?
I did.
Okay, that's what's up. But my question is, can you try to get an interview with Timothy Figueroa
in New York?
Yeah,
but
well, just remember, like, even if it's virtual.
But he does like older, like historian type of artists, though, right, Eric?
Yeah, but I'm moving up to the contemporary era.
Okay.
And I would love to do the Figaro. I just have to get back out there to New York. I was out there not too long ago with Vincent Bohannon and Bishop Bond and a few
Yeah,
others.
that was a good interview.
Thanks. Inspire. Hey, what's up?
Let's see. You did that. What are some of your other ones that you've done recently? Some of your other interviews.
Recently, I went back and did an interview with Willie Rogers from the Soul Stirrers, who replaced Sam Cooke. Of course, Shirley Caesar. But honestly, Dorothy Norwood, the one that I just posted, there's a part 2 that's coming out.
Okay.
I'm so excited about that part 2. Like, she shares so many unheard stories about them traveling in the South, and she even gives her perspective on the Stellar Awards. So that should be
interesting.
Very.
What about Bobby Jones? What a friend we have.
Have you interviewed Bobby?
I have. I've interviewed Bobby over the phone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you post that?
No, I actually put that article where I transcribed it into an article for the magazine that I did.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
There is Maurice. I'm an Eric Maurice Clark's Cash App, and he is doing the work, y'all. So if you guys would like to donate to him, he just got back from. Are you still in Detroit? Or are you back in Arizona?
No, I'm back. I literally, it's crazy is that I flew into Detroit, got off the plane, went and interviewed Twinkie, went out to the Cracker Barrel. Matter of fact, a lot of our gospel artists, they love Cracker Barrel.
Well, they're older too. They like that. Yeah.
Yes, the Cracker Barrel.
I hope you went to the one in Belleville.
Yeah.
I went to Cracker Barrel 3 times when I was out.
Lord have mercy. That's
the old saints like to rub their knees and eat some bacon.
Hey, but they got good food too, good cornbread too.
You know, we have one here now in California. We got a couple of them now, and one is about an hour and 15, hour and a half from me. I go every now and then. Yeah, or when I go, it's in Bakersfield. So when I'm on my way to Los Angeles, I'll stop there. You know.
Okay, I was subscribing to Eric's page. So what are we talking about? I heard somebody say something about cornbread.
They talk about Cracker Barrel. He go with all the old artists. He go over there to Cracker Barrel to feed them.
Oh, okay. Let me put my phone back on. Let me go back on mute on my Cracker Barrel.
So there is his Cash App, everybody. Maurice is alive. It's right there on the screen. Maurice is alive. If you would like to donate to him, he is always traveling and he's going, and that takes money, y'all. So will you help him out and make sure that his page, his platform is still a viable platform? We need gospel history, you know?
We do. Yes.
So how do you like, as a processing question, like how do you score the interviews? Like you just reach out to the PR teams, or like how's that process?
What's amazing?
He's Eric Maurice Clark.
No, I get it. He got his name out. Just like logistically, I'm always like wondering how that works.
Yeah, so I mean, it happened various ways. A lot of it is word from mouth. Because a lot of people they contact me because they see the program, and then again too, just by me being connected, some people they hook me up, but I pretty much go off of inspiration. Like I never know who I'm going to interview. It's just like sometimes somebody's just planted in my heart, and then I make the proper leg work that I need to do and get it done. So
they said they would like to see. Have you done interviewed Richard yet? Smallwood?
No, I've spoken with Richard, and Richard have given me some very wonderful words containing my work, so I'm appreciative to that.
Good. They
but
like you.
I kind of go after the unsung artists,
right?
Unless it's just some type of hunch that I have.
That's what I appreciate about you. We kind of know about some of the other, but when I started listening to you and first was aware of you, I got really into the crates of some of these artists that I didn't know, or some of the artists that worked in the behind the scenes of the major artists that made the artist click, or artists that were big, but we just didn't know who they were, back then and all that. So I like the history of the artists that you bring to us.
Yeah, because each decade you get that mascot, that represents the decade. But within that, under that mascot, you got the churchgoers that really like the gospel fans. So like a lot of the mascots, they go out beyond the four walls and they get this national name. But it's the ones that really kept it going in the church that I'm after. And you're right. And I'm appreciative to have the opportunity to find these rare individuals and expound on their stories, and I'll give them a platform to share their stories in their own voices. So that's pretty cool.
And what I like about his channel is that, like he is giving voices to, those lesser known people. But and between St. James and Eric, it's like we've lost, a lot of the BET, little interviews that we used to get back in the day. So this stuff is like critical, because I was sitting back thinking, Fred Hammond had did a couple little Zoom or whatever, and I'm sitting back watching. He had did one with Kev on stage, and and I'm sitting back watching. I'm like, I've been listening to this man like he's one of my favorite artists in my top 3. And I'm like, I don't know nothing about this man. I didn't know he even went to school with Karen Clark Sheard. And I listen to him almost every day.
Yeah.
So I'm like, these conversations are really needed. And then it's really been a wake-up call with Kirby passing and all these people passing, So these conversations are gonna have to, y'all gonna have to cash out, bro, tonight.
Right.
And
it makes them human. It makes them human, right?
It really does, Jay Boogie. That's what I like about it, because it makes me connect with them a little bit more. It brings out the humanity in them. It lets you know that they're regular people like we are, and some of the things that Eric, them old people like to tell Eric a lot of their business.
Yeah.
I have a quick question, Eric. So for some of the older older gospel artists, what is their take on this newfangled gospel that's going on now? Because it's quite a big difference.
Yeah, a lot of them that have come to grips with reality, they understand that it's nothing but history repeating itself, because in every era, there was some sort of contemporary or some sort of artist that was unorthodox. And it was a major scare. Like, even like people don't even realize that they criticized Matty Moss during the Grammys, but Matty Moss actually recorded with Columbus Man in roughly like 1959 on Berry Gordy's label before he even started Motown. So a lot of those artists were regular artists. So like she was already becoming a trendsetter. So a lot of people, if they open their eyes, they understand all it is. It's the same message, just in a different package.
Different era,
But like, I guess to reframe Kim's question, though, I think, what do they feel about it being the gospel music being gentrified? It's been colonized and gentrified. I think it's losing a bit of its flavor.
It's been CCM'd. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
On that aspect, that's because us as a black culture, like, we are allowing this, because basically gospel music is a culture.
You preaching. Let me go ahead and give you a cash app.
It's I appreciate that. Yeah, gospel music is a culture. Like, you don't need gospel music to get to heaven, but it sure enough smooths the edges while you're trying to get there.
Come on now, Eric.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what people they're missing, and they're going to these other churches and they're integrating our gospel, which it should be integrated, but we should always be the authoritative. So what they're doing is they're infusing our creativity in a lot of the CCM, because all of the CCM ain't nothing but like, it started like with the Jesus People movement, like roughly after Andre Crouch, and all of this is when the evangelistic ministry started coming back into the forefront. And then a lot of blacks were starting to, cross and go over to different evangelical churches and things of that sort. And, we kind of just lost our tenacity to keep our own music going. But that's one thing that I love about the church, that if you go to church, you're going to get an amazing message. Because these preachers, they are fantastic. You know what I'm saying? There's a gift for them to be able to go into that old book, you know what I'm saying, find the story and kind of make it relevant into your life. The good preacher.
Do that good old G.E. Patterson stuff he used to do.
Yeah, you know, that's powerful. And then you get a song too. And a lot of these songs they just loaded with just the cares of the world as being an African American. And then so we trying to get away from that. Oh no, that's crazy.
That's why I be going late.
We gotta support our artists too. Like a lot of times, well, it's a little different now because a lot of the artists, they are supported because when you stream it, that's a stream. You know what I'm saying? But we just gotta stream it a little bit more.
Yeah, you got to have 1 billion streams just to get a few thousand. It's just not. It's just not like it was.
Yeah.
But I just like the sound. I mean, to Kim's point though, like it just sounds different, right? So it's like all about the late what's her name, Stax, was like cut out all the spooky music.
Yeah.
Give me something that's churchy,
that spooky,
you know, like
Eddie Long music, huh?
That real like mystical smoke machine light show music. I don't need that. Like I need a Ricky Dillard, or a Orlando Draper, or if you want to go back, you know, like punch me in the gut with the gospel, you know?
Yeah.
And I think,
and I'm telling you, this is why I'm promoting so hard. Eric, we're going to Sweden, okay?
Yes.
Right. This is why I've been promoting the Music and Arts Global, because Donald is you know, holding up and protecting gospel music and even the choir. This is what he's doing. He's not just, you know, Donald can make some contemporary stuff, but he also makes traditional stuff. But when we get in a group setting like that, it's Edwin Hawkins music. It's the Hawkins music. It's you know, Crouch music. It's the music that we love. That's why I think it's so important for everybody to support Music and Arts Global this coming up year in Sweden.
And you know what, St. James? You know, like a lot of times, like if you look at choirs like Maverick City, like that's a Caucasian. I don't even think it's Caucasian. He's some ethnicity other than African American.
And they're gonna be on
that ain't the choir. That's a group.
Do you see
that
all the black people that sing in that choir?
Yeah.
And they're in that choir because of money. It's just like we can't get together and support our own, so we got to go outside.
Yeah.
And then we sitting down and we pointing our fingers like, what is going on? It's like we're not even supporting one another.
Yeah.
It's this in the National Association of Black Journalists. We keep inviting people to our cookouts.
Exactly.
And it's like,
and letting them take over instead of us feeding them. We're sitting down and letting them feed us.
Right, like everything's getting diluted and gentrified. You see it in like Harlem. It's like very gentrified. Like you invite these people in, like okay, blah blah blah. Starbucks shows up, Whole Foods shows up, and it just like tears out the culture. And the same thing is happening with music, and it's unfortunate.
And the thing about it, and I don't want to be the one on it because I love music. I love all kind of music. And I never want to be the one that says that we can't integrate other types of music into our, you know, Black gospel and do things. But there has to be a protection in order of our gospel music. And we've allowed them to come in, just like gentrification. We've allowed because we didn't support the Black businesses that were in Harlem. You know, that type of thing. We didn't really give it our all and do what we could do to make sure they are a mainstay in our neighborhoods, and they just faded away. That's the same thing with gospel music. If we don't feel that it's you know, relevant to our living situation, which it really is. Gospel music is like no other music. The story that gospel music has that have brought us through, brought us over, and will continue to bring us, you know, to the mountaintops. That music has done just that. Now, but I like CCM type of stuff. I give me a few 6 verses of these songs. My mother can't stand them.
Me either, mother. Me either.
Me either.
If there's too much twang of a guitar, I'm out.
Too much that high.
There's too much.
The reckless love. Yeah, but it's just, but I think that's why it's so important. I love it. You know, and I was going to interview someone, but they said they were overextended all of a sudden, and they weren't able to be interviewed. I said,
Hey,
okay.
but you know what? Another thing too, like people miss out that, like you was. Well, I think you said something about healing, but there's a lot of therapeutic substance within gospel music. I'll give you this story and I'm done. Like, one of the most rewarding things about doing Gospel Diaries is just really getting the feedback from the people. And it was a message that was sitting in one of my inbox on a second page, Facebook page of mine. And I basically just called the guy. I didn't even read what he wrote, but to make a long story short, he told me that he was working for a bank and got sick and had to have surgery. He was like a regional financial director. He had to move back with his parents. He lost everything. And literally, he said he felt like giving up on life. And he said one night he was just looking through YouTube and he ran across Gospel Diaries. And he said he just watched episode after episode. He said his tears of sorrow turned into tears of joy, listening to how those older people have triumphed through the situations that they've been through. And he said the Gospel Diary saved his life. Now you can't pay for, that type of feedback, so that's why I pretty much do what I do, because I just want people to be inspired.
Yeah, and you're bringing such, like I said, such relevancy to our living today's life, because we have to realize, when Walter wrote, there's someone there that's worse off than you.
Yeah.
And we think that we've gone through and we're going through certain things. Some of those gospel people who just wanted to sing the word of God went through so much just to get on a stage and sing it.
Listen, what's her name? Dorothy on part 2. She said that I can't give it all away, but if I'm saying it right, she said that they had to cut through the dirt roads down south. In other words, she was basically saying that they had to go the back routes, and if they saw a light, 9 out of 10, it was going to be a Caucasian person. So they had to hide the car in the bushes somewhere and let the cars pass through, because if not, they could have been murdered out there trying to get to a hub of gospel music in the South to inspire people. So I was like, y'all went through all of this just to get to a concert to inspire somebody, but you fighting for your life. And then you have, today, a lot of times we just look over these individuals, and if you think about it, one day we're going to get that age. And if we don't appreciate them, how you think we're going to feel when we get that age,
Right.
Yeah, one of the songs that I always go back to, and it's an old one. But anytime I'm feeling a little, feeling some type of way, it always comes to my mind. I'm coming up on the rough side of the mountain.
The rough side.
I'm doing my best.
To make it in.
To make it in. And that's one of the ones that you can tell that was from experience.
Yeah.
Okay. See, some of these gospel songs, these old school gospel songs, they're from experience.
Yeah. And a lot of times they wrote out, they wrote from experience. They wrote out of, the stage that they were in at that time. Right now, Kim, they're writing to get a hit.
Correct.
And they can't write.
My point exactly. They get a hit, get clicks and views, and see who could do the best latest dance. No tea, no shade to Kirk Franklin. Franklin, all right with me. I like a lot of his songs, and I listen to a lot of his songs. I'm a silver and gold fan all day long.
Oh yeah,
but now
that's when he was gospel. But go ahead.
Ooh, I was going to say that's a long time ago.
That's what I was, and you took the words right out of my mouth. Now, if you compare silver and gold, and now behold the Lamb, to what is going on right now, you'll be like, what in the world is this? And and maybe it's because I've grown up in the church, and I listen to my parents listen to that old school gospel, and I don't listen to this new stuff where they running from left to right on the stage. I just can't, I just can't get with it. I get a headache. But I guess that's the same way that older people used to look at us. When
Correct.
we, the
No, it's
older
not.
folks used to look at us.
No,
They
no,
look at
no,
us.
no. Nope. I'm
Yeah.
not even gonna let you go there.
It
No.
Jesse, like, no,
We not.
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not.
We not people. We us young folk, and I know some people that's younger than me. Ain't nobody listening to this crap. They inflate these TikTok views and these YouTube streams. That's why this stuff ain't selling. And most of the money, people don't realize this, but most of the money in music is coming from legacy artists, from stuff that came out 30 years ago. That's what's still making the money. Not this not this bull crap they keep trying to put in our face. And a lot of these young folk, if they parents are hip and put them on to some good stuff, they gonna know.
But people they neglect to realize. Okay, so we consider Thomas Dorsey the father of gospel music. Thomas Dorsey was born in 1899, and when he came to Chicago, roughly in 1919.
Wait, what year? You said 1899?
1899.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, and when he came to Chicago, the vaudeville circuit was still prominent. You still had silent films, and the music of the day was all scored. It was all vocal music, because you had people like W.C. Handy that was actually scoring the blues, which was patterned so that the commercial audience, the white audience, could appreciate it. But however, in the 20s, the blues really took off. And if you look up people like, her name is Bogan. I think it's Lucille Bogan. And you ever heard that term, the dirty blues? So this is all going on at this time. And gospel music, first of all, there is no such thing as gospel music, because in most Protestant churches, they're doing doing choral work. They're doing Baroque compositions like Gloria, doxology and things of that sort. So there is no rhythm, there's no syncopation in the church. And now you hear blues. Blues at that time was just as explicit as the rap as you hear today. And here you are, you have a black man coming into the church using the devil's music, putting religious text to it and presenting it to the congregation. Now, it took them a while to come to grasp it, but that all it's showing you is history repeats itself. Now, I do get that a lot of the artists today, they're missing conviction. I think conviction is the thing that's missing, because I was talking with one of my friends. I was playing Kirk Franklin records. I don't really like rap, but to each his own. But I looked over and he was just bobbing his head and he was getting into it. I'm like, man, you hear what that man said? He's like, yeah. And so pretty much I understand it was his delivery that really touched him. So you gotta be easy when just because it does not look familiar to us, or it does not resonate in our spirit because we were brought up under a different tradition, does not mean that it's not being effective. So we have to be cautious when we think about that, because Thomas Dorsey literally brought the devil's music into
and was rebuked. Yeah.
But like the Church of God in Christ, they was already renegades, because they were sanctified. So they were doing music that was more close to what you would have heard, during the enslaved period or the antebellum years, which is like doing slavery. So the Church of God in Christ, they have gathered a long time ago, but it was just that raw, just praise the Lord, everybody. I'm gonna that raw, just
call and response.
But I think though, Eric, there's a switch though. So Thomas Dorsey was in an era where black people owned a segment of music, So we were creating music and we were adapting what we heard and brought it into church, right? Now
no.
Well, I mean, okay. Well, what I'm saying is now it's reverse. It's almost like we're going to Whole Foods and getting the gospel and bringing it into church.
Well, let me say it like this, J Boogie. So, Eric, I back you up. I just took this Black history music class over the winter, and we went down the whole timeline. So, a lot of this stuff that I agree with you wholeheartedly. We went over Thomas Dorsey and how spirituals started everything off, but then it translated over into gospel music, down the line. But my biggest thing now now it feels like they're excluding a lot of the black sounds, like you mentioned, syncopation and all of those things. I feel a lot of that is missing now. A lot of the grunts and the, you know, soulfulness is missing,
The
and
call
that's
and
where,
response.
yeah, in the call and response, it feels like it's just gone, like it's been just totally demolished. And you know, I think that's a lot of the problem that a lot of us are having. So what are your thoughts on what I just said?
Well, you ever heard that cliche, like give a person an inch, they're gonna take a mile. So like when gospel music came along, like those people were so indebted to their faith, man, because they were going through so much. So there,
They
you know,
have faith.
like
Yeah.
there was the Jim Crow. It was during the Jim Crow period. It was pre-civil rights movement. You know, like thinking about Thomas Dorsey, he lived pre-civil rights movement, but like he lived to see the end of the Jim Crow. So like even like going into the 50s, you had shows like Amos and Andy. You know what I'm saying? That a lot of people thought that it was stereotyping African Americans. So like, you know, people think that just because the music, it does not reflect, you know, how they believe, that it's strange. You know what I mean? They thought about that, you know, even when Thomas Dorsey came along, because like the music that he was presenting to the church, that was strange to the church. And it's just it's a recycle. But I know that's not what you asked. What did you ask?
Did Jesse
No. What I asked was about just feeling like a lot of black sounds, things that had been brought over from Africa, brought up through slavery, through the civil rights movement, even, you know, 50 years past that. It's just now it feels like a lot of the essence of being black in music is just completely gone. Do you feel that way, or, you know?
Well, no, because I think that because we're in a different time era, you know what I'm saying? Like we move with the times. Like during slavery, like we didn't know no better. Now, like I think that there's nothing new under the sun, but I think that we reveal certain things at certain times. So now, like everything is electric music. Everything before it was acoustic. You didn't even have electric instruments. You know what I mean? So you wouldn't even have been able to expand your mind to like the sounds that you would have heard with Edwin Hawkins. And then especially now, you know, everything is digital. You know what I'm saying? You can do all your music on a computer. So like we're in a different era. So no, I don't believe that.
So
yeah, because
like,
the biggest. I'm just gonna say this last thing, and then I'm gonna get out the way. But it's just like it gets disheartening sometimes. You know, sitting back. Number one, people will be like, if a black artist get up and sing something, they'll be like, oh, they're screaming. That sounds. Why they doing all them riffs? Why they doing all them runs? And then if a white person get up and do the same exact thing, could be lip syncing to the black person. Oh, they're gonna be shouting up and down the aisles, and that gets on my nerve.
Well, that's how we let Shane. That's how we let Shane Perry get in here. But go ahead.
And he down to Puerto Rico. I don't know. Like so it's to me. I'm asking for like the messaging of gospel music today, like versus what it was, and changing focus. So like back in the day, it was all about God focus. Like, you know, Amazing Grace. You know how sweet the sound, right? Now it's now like shifted into an I perspective, like, you know, individualistic, like I'm worshiping you, and so I'm gonna need you to do some things for me.
Or like Larry, I like what Larry Reed says. You know, I'm nothing. I'm shit. I'm nothing without.
There's like it lacks the glorification or the like the edification of who God is to us, and like and it lacks that declaration of the gospel. And you know, we can get technical about what the gospel really is, and about you know the life, the death, the resurrection, and you know, as Donnie McClurkin would say, but it's also about like who God is and His essence to us, and how we are to respond to Him, rather than I'm about me. And I think that's where the shift is. And I don't know how we can accommodate or like reconcile that difference in terms of what we listen to and how these gospel artists like portray that.
Well, a lot of the CCM, they go off of, I don't know if you heard of Father Divine and Sweet. It was a lot of the spiritualists, like they were worshiping their prophet or their leader. And like they used to say, Daddy Grace, Daddy Grace, Daddy Grace. So a lot of that,
What
if you
you
think
know
about
about Daddy, he's all right. What you know about Daddy? They just sang it. I was there in the sanctuary.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. And Narcellus, was it King Narcellus? You know, they was worshiping these people. So a lot of the white people, they get that spiritual aspect because like Andre Crouch and a lot of those individuals, they were kind of like in that. They were in the Bay Area where a lot of that was going on, and in Detroit and in Chicago. So a lot of that, I think, by us kind of integrating with the CCM worship space, I think we kind of like introduced them to a lot of our culture as far as that daddy stuff. You know what I'm saying? They've taken it and running with it because that gets on my last nerve.
But
Oh,
even Andre,
daddy,
but even Andre
nothing
wrote.
without you. I just will just go walk off a bridge. Or, you know, it's just what.
But no, like even
I
like even
scum of the
Andre's
earth,
like
but I worship
even
you.
even the sound of Andre's stuff was like the sound changed, but the message was still the same. He was still glorified God. It
Yeah.
wasn't about him. He removed himself from it. Like it was about a projection of God. And I think that's where this new music, like I think that's where the disconnect is because like people are like, okay, I get it, you're talking about yourself, but like where is God? Like if you think about it, like when BB and CC Winans came on the scene, people were like, okay, this is too contemporary. But like, you know, when they were talking about I'm lost without you, because it's like, okay, well, is this a love song to each other or who y'all singing to? Like, and it was and so like,
but you know that's a generational. I mean, like Eric says, that happens every era. That happens where it changes the dynamic of the gospel, which is fine. Of the gospel music, not the gospel itself, the gospel, which is fine, and it's going to happen because guess what? The gospel has to reach people where they are.
Yeah.
True.
So,
You're right.
but what the important thing about us Black gospel loving, choir loving type of people over on this side, we can appreciate Eric for keeping those people that brought us such great music
for sure
in the forefront. You
Fact.
know,
for sure.
and saying how, you know, how important they are. How, you know, not only did they get us through hard times with their music, but they still have the ability now to get others through with the same type of music. Yeah.
But like, who's promoting them though? Like, besides Donald, you know?
Well, I mean, it's a thing, and the thing about it, we're living in social media. I mean, unless these older artists have this, like somebody asked me about Vanessa Bell Armstrong's CD, and I have to admit I haven't listened to it because you know why I haven't listened to it? Because I'm afraid it's going to give me just today's gospel.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
It's not going to be Vanessa that I want to hear from back in the day.
You want to hear Peace Be Still?
I want to hear Peace Be Still like type of Vanessa. Not saying she has to do all old music, but we have to have some of our artists have to keep the main thing, and not transition themselves because of either the times or pressure of making money and selling records. I haven't listened to it because, not saying it's probably a great CD or EP, but I just haven't listened to it because I'm afraid that just by looking at Vanessa in all of the airbrush that they do on her, they're trying to make her look 40 years younger on her CDs and her pictures. And it's just,
She like 76, right?
Huh?
She like 76, right?
No,
At least
like 69.
69? Okay, yeah. So almost 70, you know, because Eric know how old these people are. But it's like I and don't get me wrong, I think everyone should progress, but we have to keep some stuff that's going to connect us to you. I want Richard Smallwood to give me Richard Smallwood. That's just me. I want, at this point in my time, I want Vincent Bohannon. Don't go CCM, Vincent. I need you to stay with choir music, with church music. I need you to stay with what you learned from institutional and keep that alive. And I think he's doing a great job at doing it.
So what do you think about Ricky Diller? I think Ricky Diller, let's see in the comments. Like Ricky's latest album, oh my God, he chased me to no more.
And even
who feels the same that Ricky Diller is trying to keep that gospel music, the choir sound alive?
I think he is. Ricky's doing a fantastic job. That's why he was on the Stellars, because regardless of what, the people are still craving gospel music and choir music. So I think if we just, we want to support it more, but it has to be good gospel, good choir music, like a Vincent and Ricky. It has to be good. We want to support it. You can't just throw anything at us and then want us to just support on default. We don't want to do that. We want to support because we can connect and we love it. And I wish that Vincent would have got one of them Stellar Awards, but Vincent is probably going to get a Grammy. So, but I think he deserved at least one of those Stellar Awards because of his willingness to keep it gospel and keep it choir and churchy.
So are we going to say like churchy versus gospel though? Like, is that what the other point is? Like, are we looking for churchy or are we looking
when we say churchy, we're thinking choir in my mind.
Can I break it down?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Please break it down, sir.
Okay, so you have genres and you have subgenres. So technically, spiritual would be the genre. Well, because it started, because they didn't know what to classify this music as, so it was spiritual, and then it became, race records or whatever. But however, so you have spiritual, then you have subgenres. You have gospel, traditional gospel. You have quartet. You have so forth. And a lot of people, they just associate gospel music with everything. But no, there's subgenres. And now the music today, I shouldn't even use the word gospel for today's music. I think it's more inspirational music.
It's inspirational music, a lot of it. It's just inspirational.
And that's how it really goes. A lot of people just, they miss out on that because gospel is just a subgenre. I mean, it has subgenres, you know what I mean? Because a lot of white people use gospel, but they ain't talking about black gospel.
And they're talking about Southern gospel.
Exactly. And they have quartets or gaithers and all sorts.
And it's just like the Nelsons that just passed away in that plane crash. They were pretty much Southern gospel, right?
Yes. Their dad started like back in like 69, somewhere. Oh,
wow. Wow, that's amazing. Well, I mean, I'm glad you came up here, Eric, because I wanted you to definitely promote Gospel Diaries. Gospel Diaries is a mainstay that we need. I'm loving that you're connecting with even more and more, but they love you. I'm glad because they see the spirit in you, and you have that where you want to really keep it alive and keep it relevant, and not only that, but give us a good history lesson, like Princess said. She appreciate the good history of it. Ray says, I can't do Southern gospel. You know what? My grandmother used to listen to TBN and the Gaithers, and I used to go in there when I visited and lay on her bed and look at TBN and look at all the Gaither. So I used to listen to it all the time. I'm whitewashed like that, I guess. I don't know.
Hey, you know what?
California.
California.
We should talk about hymns.
Who's that?
Go ahead.
I said before you go, we should talk about hymns.
Hymns, man. Hymns.
Oh, hymns.
A lot of people say, bring the hymns back to the church, but like everything has history, you know what I mean? And like a lot of those hymns were written by racist people, sorts of people. But the thing about it, I think that's why I said before, like what people are really missing from the black church or the black culture is conviction. Because what we were able to do was we were able to take those Protestant hymns, them European Protestant hymns, and we were able to transform them into a language where we understood them and made them applicable. Like we take songs like Amazing Grace, What a Friend We Have in Jesus, which had nothing to do about the struggles that we're going through. That man had lost his wife and somebody else and wanted to kill himself. I mean, he fell off a horse in the lake or something like that. But we
Wow.
have learned how to take them songs and make them a staple in our Black churches.
In ours.
And I think that's what's missing. And then, like, you had people like Charles Albert Tilley or Lucille Campbell that was actually creating Black hymnology, in the 20th century with songs like "Take Your Burdens to the Lord and Lead Them There." And that just extended our perspective of hymns. But like when a lot of people say bring the hymns back, I think that they need to really be more thorough and just say bring the conviction back to the church opposed to those white European hymns. But that's just my take.
So I Won't Complain. So the history of that, Ray says, was an old Southern gospel song, huh?
Yeah, that was a song. That's not a hymn. Well, anything is really a hymn. It's praise to God.
Yeah, but it wasn't. Yeah. Wow, amazing. Yeah. Oh, I actually love that. Dottie Rambo, I remember her. Yep, I remember her too. Man. But yeah, hymns are important. Gospel music is important. I'm glad that we have some Eric Maurice Clarks around here. And again, everybody, if you would like to donate to Eric Maurice Clark, there is his Cash App. Maurice is alive. Why don't you bless him tonight? He travels. He goes, hops on the planes, and goes to these artists that really, some of them can't travel. They can't get to him. They can't do a lot. So he goes to them. So, it does take money to do that. So if you love gospel music, if you love the history of gospel music, and you appreciate what Eric brings to us, will you consider $ Maurice is alive, MAURICEISALIVE. Thank you so much, Eric.
Thank you so much for having me. You all have a wonderful night.
You do the same.
You do the same. Thank you. And I look forward to listening to these interviews and coming up on my gospel history. I appreciate you for doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much. Bye, y'all. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Before we get out of here, y'all, I have a question. I posted something that was good. I like Eric. Me and Eric hung out in LA. We went to Fixins and ate, and we had a good time. He's good. He's cool. Let's see. He was better than Jesse. I hung out with Jesse in Detroit.
Yeah.
I just play.
Okay, St. James.
Be careful.
Just play. Travis Malloy put this up, and I wanted to post it. I posted the other day. It was just on point. He said, there are so many people dying this season, and it's traumatizing. I know you all have the Holy Ghost and think shouting and throwing up will fix your depression, anxiety, pain, and confusion, but I give you all permission to find a therapist and serious professional counsel. You will not be less anointed because you decided to talk to someone. These are very important tools for healthy living. Don't let overly religious people trick you into thinking that speaking with the therapist indicates a lack of faith in God. It's a lie. Get all the help you need and use all the tools God may be using for you. I forgot what he said. For your personal healing. What do you guys think about this? I think this was so powerful and so right on time. Every time we look at my community wall, and make sure you guys are on my community wall and always have your notifications on. But it seems like my community wall the last couple of weeks have been just obituary. I mean, everybody is just passing away, especially in the music industry. And we had Angela Ash, the actress, passed away at 46 the other day off of cancer. And these are really hitting us. And I think some people are having issues mentally and not really dealing with a lot of this loss, and just kind of, like he says, just being over religious with it and not really getting the help that they really need. What do you guys think?
Okay.
Let me, because I believe in therapy, and
then Kim, then Jesse. Go ahead.
I just had I just talked to my therapist Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And I talk to her every other week or once a month, depending on the frequency I need, or depending on when my HSA is built up. Nevertheless, it's, I believe, so there's some people who think like, oh, you're over therapy. Everybody's like, oh, go to therapy, go to therapy. Everybody needs somebody to talk to,
right?
That who is unbiased, who doesn't know you, who can provide you with a perspective that you don't necessarily, that you won't receive from somebody that you know.
Mm-hmm.
And she, because I purposely chose a Black woman, and she actually also, just because I'm part of the community, she's also lesbian, but she's able to, like, I'll talk, and she's able to pull something like, wait, pause. You can't skate over that. And, in my life, it's I'm able to figure things. I'm an engineer by degree, and that's how I function. So I'm able to, compartmentalize things. I'm able to figure things out for other people. And she's like, "What are you doing for yourself? Like, how are you doing the stuff out for yourself? And what are you doing to maintain, Jason? What are you doing to build yourself up?" And that's the kind of stuff that you need, like that encouragement, like, hey, you're doing all this like for everybody else. Like you're a good brother, you're a good uncle, you're a good son. But that's in relation to other people. But who you are to yourself.
Right.
And
how
so
are you? Yeah. How
are you managing that? So
Yeah.
I encourage therapy, and I encourage and it's not God created therapists.
Yeah.
God created people counsel, wise counsel. It's in the Bible. So I there's no shame in that.
So Kim, with all these deaths and things, you think people are not really and then we have, the other day, not the other day, but a couple of weeks ago, one of the founders of Fandango, he jumps out of a hotel building and unalives himself, It's just, what do you think?
People think that I will definitely agree with some of what Jay Boogie said, but I also want to add that we as Black people, and especially, and this is statistics now, this isn't just what I'm coming off the top of my head.
Right.
Black men don't like to, we don't like, as Black people, we don't like to talk to other people. I'm not telling such and so my business.
Right.
Okay. And that's what I hear a lot of people, but you're keeping these issues, these concerns in, and there are times where people, when the church, when they want to be overly religious, and you want to go to your pastor, and then you look up you could talk to pastor on the first Sunday, the third Sunday, he in the pulpit, discussing your conversation without saying it's your conversation.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's becoming a thing where we don't take care of ourselves because we're so busy worried about what other people think, what other people are going to say. So you put yourself in this mind frame to become someone that you really aren't.
Yeah.
And then that's why you have these people, money, like you just said, the founder of Fandango unalives himself. Money does not make you happy. You've got a lot of millionaires out here who have given everything to their children, this generational wealth, and these kids are hooked on drugs.
Right. Fentanyl. Yeah.
You've got these people out there with buku money that their children talk to them and act any kind of way. It's just, and then you want to determine that you want, and this goes for Black and white too. Then you want to try and get help when it's too late.
Yeah.
My first marriage dissolved because he did not want to. He developed PTSD from being over in 2 consecutive tours over in Iraq and came back. He did not want to get help.
Wow.
But once he did get help, but it was too late for me. It was too late for me at that point.
Got some help for the next woman, huh?
Right. He got some help for the next woman. But as of right now, we're able to hold, a decent conversation for a few moments. But it's something that we have got to get out of this. I don't want to tell these folks my business mentality. Because sometimes they can help with your business, and then you already know how we go. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna let Jesse have it because I know he's gonna roll with this one. You'll have a friend. I'll get on the phone. I'll tell Jesse all my business. But as soon as me and Jesse fall out, Jesse on the phone with Jay Boogie, telling all my business.
Well, therapists are legally obliged not to share your business, so we need to make that clear.
But our pastors,
not pastors. I'm talking about therapists. Therapists are legally mandated not to share your business.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that people know that. I don't think people understand. Well, they're like, I don't want people to know my business. But when you tell,
and if they do, you may have a great lawsuit.
And you will be rich.
Yes,
and you would have all types of. But what I'm saying is, we don't, not for them telling our business. It's, we don't want to sit in front of someone that doesn't know us from a can of paint, which is really the best way to go.
I think that's the best way, because you need an unbiased person.
Right, because it's non-judgmental. Just like they say at Planet Fitness, it's a no judgment zone.
With Tootsie Rolls.
And they teach you on money.
But I get it, it's a no judgment zone. But I get in Planet Fitness and be like, oh Lord, she need to stay on that treadmill about 30 more minutes. So
one more minute, ma'am. One more minute.
Right. So it's it's that kind of situation that we, as African Americans, we just have to get out of that, because we are losing a lot of people for not, just wanting to sit and talk, not keeping ourselves healthy and things like that. But I'm not gonna get on that health tangent. So Jesse, here you go.
Before you go, before you say, I like this, Major Boy. Catholics were on it in the beginning with confession booth. That is very interesting, just because a lot of people just need to actually get it out.
That's it.
They just need to get it out. Now, I'm not going to go through their theology and what they think that, say 55 million Marys and you're okay. But I think you're on to something, Major Boyce.
Well, look, life and death lies in the power of the tongue. Once you release it from your body and you give it to the air and you give it to God, He's able to deal with it.
Right. Man, that is so. Go ahead, Jesse.
So, Kim, I'm gonna pick up where you left off. You said you wasn't going on a health tangent, and I am. So
it ties in. You're good. You're on the right road now.
No, for real. So, because I got so many examples, but and Travis, I'm not gonna go in like I could, but it is a good talking point, but it's just not the church, it's just the Black community as a whole, because I know people that haven't been to church in over 20 years that are anti-therapists. They done told me, I don't know what you're going out and they giving them all that money for, because you can just get that money to me. And it's like, baby, no, I done been through some serious PTSD, complex PTSD. I can't do that. And so St. James, I had made a Facebook post. I had sent the screenshot of it, but it was just basically like me talking to myself about a year or two ago, where I was going around to a lot of my friends, to a lot of the support system and everything, and dumping on them all of my emotional trauma and stuff, instead of going to an actual person that's paid to do that, dumping that all on them. And that's not fair. That a pastor has a million things to do. He can't sit there and hold your hand all day. Okay, you need to go see some help.
And
all right,
we have to realize that, and not say they don't need that. you can't connect with your pastor. Your pastor is not there for you personally. They're there for your spiritual well-being.
Exactly. And your friends ain't there. And your mother isn't there. Your children aren't there. You need to go get help on your own, because this is, when we get down to the health thing, okay, y'all don't realize that trauma sits in your body. This messes with your neurological defenses. This messes with your bloodstream, your spine. If you let that thing fester in your body, and this is a family member that I'm talking about, she's dealing with all kind of fibromyalgia, bone diseases. They can't figure out what's the problem. It's trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Trauma is a spirit. We talk about
trauma is an infection. It's an infection.
It's an infection. It's a spirit. It'll, move from here, move from there. It'll go everywhere, all up and down your body, from your, messing with you just all neurologically.
You're not inspired.
And you're not actively getting help. And then that's why we're seeing so many people passing away at an early age, because they're not proactively doing things in their 20s and their 30s. Once you realize it's a problem, you need to go get some help. Instead of pouting around saying, woe is me, being mad and angry with everybody, it's not going to change anything from the past, So, that's why we have to, and then, it just starts manifesting itself. It starts, that's why we have so many obese people. A lot of people talk about obesity and this, that, and the third. A lot of obesity comes from trauma, childhood trauma, So we people really need to start, having conversations amongst them, amongst your friend circles. Did you go see your therapist? Did you go sign up for therapy? Just like we're talking about voting, that needs to be another conversation we're having. We have you checked in. Like, come on now. Like, because this stuff is real, and you don't want to, like, I don't, I'm 30. I don't want to be going to a whole bunch of funerals in 10, 15 years because everybody is laid up with diseases that could have been prevented just by taking one initial step,
And
there's
again, go ahead.
A lot of people think like, oh, I'm going to work out, go to the gym. That's my therapy. Like, that's part of it. Like the physical activity, yes, that releases the what do you call it, endorphins and all that stuff. And it releases all that stuff. But that mental capacity and that mental stuff that you need to release, you need to talk to somebody. There's a reason why he said men are not good about themselves. Like, that's why you need a sense of community. You need to be able to share between each other. And Jesse, you made a very good point. Like, our friends and family they're going through stuff too. We can't continue to dump on them our stuff. In like our relationships, our husbands, our kids, like that stuff is trauma. And I put in the chat, like, there's a book. It's a very like scientific, technical book, but there's a book called The Body Keeps Score about how trauma builds up in the body and how it responds and like all this stuff. Like, you think about shingles, and like shingles is a neurological response to the chickenpox virus, right? So when you get really, really, really stressed, it shows up. And a lot of Black people experience shingles.
Yeah.
And like, it's because they were not able to release that stress and not able to release all that pain, that suffering, that trauma they've had. Like, and we really, really, we really just need to talk. Sorry, St. James, go ahead.
But it just going along. No, you're talking good. Just going along too with Jesse, and what Travis Malloy is talking about even more. It's okay. We've had a number of deaths happen in the music industry, gospel music industry, and just around. And some of these have been very sudden. You had Kirby Brown in the pulpit. You had Dante, wonderful singer. He was the best friend of Anita Wilson. And that's why I wanted to give Anita, we're going to do an interview with her, but going to give her a little bit of time because her and Dante were, that was the singer with Donald Lawrence. But when you think about this, y'all, it's a lot of that is true. People are not talking. We're holding a lot of things in. Maybe we're eating too much. We're not looking, we're not exercising. We're not doing what we're supposed to do. And we're causing our bodies to just shut down, which is pretty much a form of suicide. because we're not talking to anyone. We're not getting the help that we need. We're just operating as we've been doing, but we're not doing the positive things even for our mental health and our bodies. And our bodies are the ones that are breaking down and giving out. So I think in order for us to get that mental together, it gets that body together, but we got to talk it out just so we can know.
But St. James, we first have, before we can talk it out or walk it out or any other out, we have to be honest with ourselves. And we can't, again, we've got to stop with the facades. We've got to stop with, you know, I'm struggling. I'm living paycheck to paycheck, you know, but I've got a Mercedes.
Yeah,
I'm living paycheck to paycheck.
Living beyond our means. Yeah.
Correct. You're living beyond you're doing things. A lot of us do things to stress. We stress ourselves out by concerning ourselves and making other people's opinion more important.
Damn social media.
Okay. You know, I would tell anybody that I was a college student that came home from school and my power was off and I slept right there in that hot apartment for 2 nights before I got my work study check. Why? Because I didn't want to call anybody. Because guess what? Kim, your power off, girl. No, because that's not what people saw with me. You understand? So we're so busy just trying to worry about what other people say. And a lot of times, if you don't worry, like right now, I could care less, you know, about what anybody thinks or says about me. You know, it's, and when you get to a point where you don't care, things are a whole lot lighter. But as long as we're sitting here worried and having to try and figure out how we go pay this $900 rent and this $800 car note.
Right. Come on
Kim,
now.
let me tell you something. If I had $900 rent, I would be in heaven.
Mine is $845.
My God.
Oh Lord.
You know,
the average is I think the average was like 7 something.
No, but I said 9 and 8 because you're paying $900 for a roof over your head and you paying $800 for a car.
Oh, I knew where you were going.
You know, that's just dumb stuff. But you want people to say, "Oh, Jesse got a Mercedes." Yeah, but Jesse don't know from month to month how he about to pay that car note. And that's
Jesse drive a 2017 Buick Encore, $369 a month.
You know?
Well, no. To say James' point, like we need to stop judging our lives against the highlight reels of other people.
Please, because 95% is a lie.
It's like social media is curated. Like it is the people put forth things that they think will be equitable to them, and like it's not who they are. Like there was a recent like TikTok drama situation where this black woman was married to this white man and they're like interracial and they're promoting interracial relationships, and then they had an argument on social media where she was like, "Oh, he's my white king," he's doing blah blah blah, but then we found out like she'd been providing for him the whole time. And so like it's curated and like and so we get into this point that we like, oh, I want that, this is what I want. Like, and we don't understand like what the reality is and how we can get there.
You didn't know that she slept with no lights for 2 nights.
Come on, and like right, and Kim, I've been there. Like,
yeah.
Let me go down to the check cashing place to give me a little,
I've walked out of my apartment in Jacksonville, Florida, and I know my apartment number was 17. And last night I parked my car in parking spot 17, and I come out the next morning and parking 17 is empty.
Right. Come on. I know.
Okay.
And like we need to share that. Like we need to share that with each other. There is, we are overcome by the testimonies of other people. Like
and see, at the time I was shamed. But see, now as an adult, and again, I was 20, 21, 22 years old.
Yeah.
But as an adult now, I know that everything that happens, but it only took one time.
Come on now.
Right. You gotta learn from the lessons.
Lessons
learned.
Right.
Learn.
It only took one time. But see, what we don't know is what I didn't understand then is the girl 2 doors down probably got her car evicted last month. Car snatched last month, and she probably got an eviction notice on her door today.
Yeah.
No, you don't know anybody else's story. But the point is, you're not the first, and you're not the last. I was so embarrassed about having to divorce my ex-husband. But then I had to sit down and thought about that thing, and I said, you know what? I'm not the first.
Nope.
And I definitely won't be the last.
Benny Hinn showed us that. He's getting
So come on, somebody. So we have to get into that mind frame.
Yeah.
Of understanding that right, that it is okay. That it, and once we realize that it's okay, then things may look a little bit, you're taking some things, lightening that burden off of your shoulders.
Yeah. So, I don't want to, I can't hang on too long. I know my East Coast folks, because I need to go to bed as well. But man, the moral of the story is, let's be grateful first. Your situation is not as bad as you think. Talk to somebody. Don't over spiritualize everything. Pray, but pray with some works, because faith without works is dead. Doesn't exist. So get some good books, such as what Jay Boogie said. Affirmations are good, such as what Jesse he said, Black men, get therapy. Your healing is not the responsibility of your spouse or significant other, your parents or family, your friends, your children, your random friendly faces, or your religious leaders. It is up to you. It is up to you. God has given us all the authority over our lives. He's given us carte blanche over our lives. He's not dictating what we do. It's not a dictatorship. So why would we vote? Why would we vote one in? So I digress. But he has given us authority over our lives. So let's just live a little better. Let's be nicer to a little more to our fellow man. And we don't know who's slipping out of here so quick, y'all, but you don't have to bear the brunt of grief on your own. You really don't. You really don't. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Jay Boogie, Kim. And you see their Cash Apps there if you would like to donate. Little Jesse right there. And then NU Iota, $19.99. What's yours, Jay?
I'll next time. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm gonna let y'all go down, and we will talk to y'all a little later.
Y'all have a good night. God bless.
Bye.
Good night.
Let's see. I think it's so slow. All right, everybody. I hope you had a good evening. Thank you, Eric Maurice Clark, for coming through and blessing us with your wonderful, as always, gospel history. If you would like to donate to this platform, you can always use $ the St. James Show or $ St. James Show, and you can be a blessing to this platform. And we also have Zelle and PayPal by putting in the SaintJamesShow at att.net, the email. All right. That's also my email. If you would like to email me any stories, a lot of you email me different clips and stories, and I appreciate that. A lot of times I see them, I've seen them or something, but don't let that detour you. I don't mind you sending me things and that you feel interesting, and that'll be good for the St. James Show. So be a blessing tonight and support the platform. I appreciate each and every one of you. We will see you soon. We're going to get out of here by a song, an old Walter Hawkins Love Alive song that Freddie Hawkins used to sing. God will open doors. But the beautiful, talented Callie Day is singing this rendition of it. So we're going to get out just by listening to Callie Day sing God Will Open Doors. And if anyone has a doubt in your mind tonight, if there's something that you're facing and you don't know how in the world are you going to get through it, are you going to get the means to go through it, just remember that God is sitting high upon the throne, but he's also looking down and he's ready to supply each and every one of your needs and even some of our wants. Isn't that a blessing? But here's Callie Day with God Will Open Doors. So blessings, everybody. Y'all have a great evening.